Yep. All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Headcanon panel. Your opportunity to hear or be offered to a whole bunch of ridiculous headcanon. Thank you for coming.
Yay!
We apologize, but Mitch Larson's headcanon was rejected due to being too official, so he's not here.
By the way, if you are show hosts, please do not be in part of this room, since if they hear anything, they then no longer can use it.
Never be used.
Yes, that is a thing.
So get out.
Show staff, get out.
Yeah. So let's go through the list of everyone up here, and then we'll go through the details and the slides real quickly, so we can get all to the crazy headcanon. I am Apple Cider, 1/5 of the Bronyville podcast.
Gotta get that right now.
This is my one of my co-hosts, Chef Sandy.
Howdy, howdy.
Let's see. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
I'm Vigilant Watch. I started this panel technically, but then it became something way more than me. So, yeah.
I'm the English guy awkwardly eating a burger.
Welcome to America.
Thank you.
He's also got the Coke, so he's really got it nailed.
This is an American breakfast.
Howdy, y'all.
Hey, I'm
Feels
the
like
Texan.
the evening.
I'm the Texan.
And down at the very end, our representative from Everfree Northwest, the most Everfreest Northwestiest of the people on this panel. Well, oh no, Vigilance representing as well.
He's staff.
I'm wearing the staff shirt.
But he's the vestiest one, I'll say.
I feel so very fancy.
Hello, Pony Tim.
But yeah, I am Pony Tim, and I am the co-director of the PR team. So, announcements, social media, yeah, that's me and my team.
He can word good.
I just move boxes.
So the basis of this
You move
panel
boxes well.
is we want to hear ridiculous headcanon. We've got ridiculous headcanon. We're sure you do. We want to vet out what we should now consider in the fandom as canon and what should be tossed aside as ridiculous. I have a host of stuff here of ridiculous toys ranging from Halo figurines to a whole bunch of My Little Pony. If you end up coming up and giving us a headcanon, you can take from this pile as you like, one piece, please. And Tim, did we end up getting the special ones for the winners? The things? Oh, you failed me.
Yeah, done goofed.
I done goofed. I could run over and see if I can grab them.
If you can.
All right.
We will,
I run away.
So we will attempt to get, for the people that, so if you wish to stay.
Get to drive.
Oh gosh, we're putting an Englishman in the driver's seat.
I'll just put the soda right on top of this. What could possibly go wrong?
Yes, he has to use a left-handed mouse, I understand. British joke. So what we are going to attempt to do, the reason that Pony Tim has left, we are going to, for the best headcanon and for the most ridiculous headcanon.
Again, purely arbitrary measures.
Completely just based off of
We are tyrants.
insanity.
However much we laugh is a good judgment.
Yeah. But we will be giving a free signature voucher over in the signature room, so you can go and get it signed by whoever you like in that wonderful room. So
A $20 value, yours for only your headcanon.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
Debase
let's see.
yourself for
Foley,
us.
do you mind
Next
hitting
slide.
the button?
Alert! Alert!
All right.
Alert!
Just so you know, we might be talking about some stuff in the next hour. If you are still on season 1, maybe 2, 3, or beyond, we're probably going to, some of you are going to talk about spoilers.
If you're not up to date, well, you're doing it wrong.
And if you're not up to date on everything, this is books, comics, any of that stuff. We know about that. I'm currently up to date on the comics, even the one that was released this week.
Oh, I haven't read that one.
I think we've all watched the latest episode.
Mm-hmm.
There
Griffin's
are comics.
There are comics.
There's a new season.
Griffins are jerks.
Why does no one tell me these things?
Rainbow Dash has wings? And there's your Mitch Larson joke for the evening.
And she dresses in style.
Yes, she
Cadence
does.
has an origin story. Yeah, if you read the G.M. Barrow books,
Which are technically canon.
which are
we'll get to
technically
that.
canon. Yep.
It's
But
official
yes, if
fan
you
fic.
haven't, if you wish to not be spoiled, we're not going to be warning each individual item that we're going to talk about. So expect it.
Yep.
And
All right.
hopefully you can run out the door fast enough when I start talking about. Oh wait, I shouldn't talk about that.
Sure. So let's see. I'm going to give you the only useful thing that Urban Dictionary has ever done. They have this great, crazy definition about what headcanon is. I'm not going to read it because it's enormous, but I will state it's the only useful thing Urban Dictionary has ever done. Let's see, and this was kind of interesting. I pulled up here. Actually, headcanon comes from Sherlock Holmes back in the early 1900s because there were people making Sherlock Holmes fics that were not the official stories, and so they had to state, no, these are different. And what was it? Oh yeah, there was this entire thing about Ben 10 was where the actual term headcanon came from.
10 Galaxy Force, yo.
Yeah.
I guess. I don't know.
So there you go. You know what a headcanon is now. You're informed. So we've created this crazy-ass index.
This does make sense. Trust us.
So we decided that when we were going to do this, we wanted to plot out how insane a headcanon was and how you could try and do that.
Put them
You
in
know,
the
do it full
boxes.
paper style.
Yep. So it is fanon versus canon. And that's what you're seeing here. The most ridiculous... Okay, well, let's see. So the basis is canon. This is the statement of how much it is accurate to the show or produced materials. So, you know, on the far right, the far left-hand side, technically, you have a high canon. So, like, you know, Celestia likes cake. We've seen that in the show. That's confirmed. Mid is Celestia really likes cake. We don't have completely 100% approval that she is obsessed with cake, but you can assume maybe, perhaps.
If you like Mythbusters, plausible.
Yeah, and the low is the Celestia hates T-fic.
Which no.
I read that one. It's great. I like it a lot.
It's good, but there's nothing stating in any of the show or material that
But
she hates
it.
tea.
She just drinks it. Keeps
Yeah.
up appearances.
So on the fanon side, this is the stuff that we as a community kind of agree on. And the fanon becomes really divisive because there's nothing that's straight, like, this is set in stone. Everybody's feelings on fanon changes. You know, like, my particular feeling is I feel that Equestria Girls is high fanon. Like, I believe that should be, or that's actually high canon. But I believe, like, yeah, that should be accepted. Many other people are just like, I've never watched those. Boo!
They're not horses.
I can't get into this. They're not a horse. So like some high fanon is like, hey, you know, Celestia may not have always been an alicorn. She may have been like Twilight at some time. I think most of us could say, yeah, we could probably buy into that.
Maybe.
It's one of those things where, you know, and of course this category has nothing to do with anything that's been officially confirmed. So regardless of whether or not a book says that she was always an alicorn, the fanon can believe.
Mm-hmm.
Until there is a book that actually says, "Oh yeah, I was always this."
Yeah.
Then all the, you know.
I was a star baby. Yeah,
That
thanks,
doesn't,
Celestia.
that doesn't necessarily oppose the fact that people still believe in it.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Something can be not canon and yet high fanon because everybody loves it.
Mm-hmm. And so
This
like
is a
Gilda
great
still
idea.
being a jerk.
Mm-hmm.
Spoiler alert.
Still exists.
Yes.
So then the other one, Celestia is kind of a prankster. You could kind of figure out some of that stuff, you know, and there is other materials that you have where Celestia is far more of a prankster type figure.
Comic books.
Yeah. Well, also in just the way that she likes to destroy her own parties and things like that. Like she has a little prankster streak
High
in it.
society's
Yes,
boring.
I would
Let's
almost
wreck
say
it.
that. I would almost say that not the last episode, but the Smooth episode pretty much
Yeah.
confirms that, like
It's-
canon.
It's pretty close.
And a bird in the hoop.
And
Yeah. Trolled the hell out of Fluttershy.
Yes.
and then you have like the
And
low
there was the Teaswell.
the low one, which is like Celestia is a tyrant, or there's that whole fight, you know, I guess you could say like there's the whole like secret fight between Celestia and Luna and the Lunar Republic and da-da-da, like stuff that's like, yeah, that's something you could like, you
Yeah,
know.
that's really season 1, kids.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
We're past that.
Is it time for the ugly slide?
Yeah, so the ugly slide. So here's some headcanons. I told you it was an ugly slide. This one is just if you type in My Little Pony headcanon, here's a few ridiculous ones. There's some fun ones, like the elements go where they're needed. You know, the Equestria... I actually have do this one where the Equestria Girls actually takes place in a point between a human world and the pony world. It lives in this little nebulous, like, mini-verse. But then you have headcanons that completely break. Like this one down at the bottom. Princess Luna doesn't actually have a cutie mark. It's a permanent stain from the spirit of Nightmare Moon. No, that's pretty disproved at this point.
There's also the cheerily said Adraconicus, implying that there are more than one. Which, well, that's plausible.
It's possible.
But I think it's very unsupported by fanon at this
Yeah.
point.
Yeah.
They're like, yeah, it's Discord.
It's
and then that's
Discord,
it.
and then
Tim returns.
Yes, and my quest has been a failure.
Aw, all right. Well, we have this giant list of stuff here that you guys can grab.
you get to
Yeah,
rub
we're
his
auctioning
beard.
off.
Well,
We're
I
auctioning
have
off
20
Tim.
bucks.
His price
We
starts
can
at
do that.
$5.
Yeah, we could give $20.
That does actually
All right.
work.
All right.
$20 for the thing.
Yeah.
Technically, it's not money.
Technically.
If you're
Um,
Canadian, it's not
But
money.
yeah, so there's our ugly slides. So let's see. I forget what's after this. Is it back to the main? The grid?
Is it
I
back to
relinquish the laptop back to you.
Lyra feeding
Hit the
or
button.
Bon
Yes.
feeding Lyra Xbox.
Yeah, I get to hit the button
Okay,
for the
so yeah.
last slide.
So we're back to this where the entire idea is that high cannon, high fanon is up here in the top left-hand corner. Low cannon, no fanon. So, stuff that we can pretty much attribute is accepted by the show and accepted by the fans. Lyra and Bon Bon are really close friends. Maybe more? Question mark. Something that I think a lot of us and the show kind of quasi-accepts. All the way down to low cannon, no fanon, Celestia feeds Lyra Xboxes. It's... Nice one.
Did you realize that now that we said it, somebody will probably write a fan fiction about it?
There's already
Oh,
there
oh,
already
oh,
is
that is
art
a- that
of
is
Bon
a-
Bon feeding.
That is one of our 2 disclaimers. One, we're not experts. We pretend to be. We play them on TV, but we're not experts. And number 2 is, if you talk about it here, it will become a fan fiction by the time the convention
that's
is
the
over.
thing.
That's why the writers' panel's next door
there
after
is
this.
art of Bon Bon force feeding Lyra Xboxes. That's why it's even a thing.
Yeah.
Because I was like, what?
Well, I said it's going to be written to a fan fiction. That's a different
Uh.
thing. I mean, the Iron Rider does happen down the way after this, so.
So, yep, so that is all we have. We're going to have this, we'll probably turn off the projector, but this is the general idea that we're having with this, just so you know what everything is being gauged off of, how acceptable it is, both fanon and canon-wise, since all of us know kind of a stupid much about this pony thing. But while I get everything set up over here, are there any headcanons that we have right offhand that we want to bring up while I get everything set up for a line to
Q&A.
form?
Well,
Feel free to line up while we're doing this. Over, I guess, there.
Well, mine
maybe the
is
center.
that there
I
are
don't know.
multiple
Press
Bon
twice.
Bons.
Oh my.
Oh yes. Oh yes. And the rules. Okay. Yes, kids get to go to the front. Before we actually do this, I have one request. If you're going to do a ship, back it up with something else. If you just say the ship, I'm gonna be like, okay, why?
Are there boundaries of good taste that we need to establish?
Yes, this is a
Remember,
PG
this is
convention.
an
No
all-
lewd.
This is an all ages. Hold on, let's keep it classy.
Anyways, go ahead, Cider.
Keep it clean.
Yeah. What was that? I didn't hear anything. That's right.
La la la.
But yeah, does the panel
I
have
was
any-
gonna
go
say
down
there are multiple bonbons. That they're the ponies. There are many ponies of the same type in Equestria. They're all different, but they're also the same pony. There's multiple bonbons because he doesn't have a consistent voice.
So like the Bon,
Yeah.
all those, yeah.
The bonbons were created by man. They evolved. They rebelled. There are many copies, and they have a plan.
Yes.
Something of that variety.
Much like there's multiple Doctor Who's, Pegasus and Earth Pony, and I think there's a unicorn version that popped up too.
Yeah.
So,
You have one?
Anyone know Davenport of Quills and Sofas? You Davenport fans? I think he and Luna are secretly an item. And I will defend that ship to the death. I don't know what you'd call it, though. Lunaport?
What would be the reason? Why are they together?
Well, he's a commoner, he's the least expected sort of... No
So
one
it's
would
a
see
Tisif
it.
game, is what you're saying.
yeah,
No one would see it coming. It's...
it's Twilight Sparkle's Secret Civic Folder.
Exactly.
The fanfic.
Which there are many that are based off that game. Tim,
Yes.
you have one?
Yeah, I got one. I actually have a Changeling Origin headcanon. I
Uh-oh.
think that the Changelings were originally Crystal Ponies. Now, we know that 1,000 years ago, the Crystal Empire disappeared, taking the Crystal Heart. I'm thinking that it radiates, like light and love and stuff. Well, not all the Crystal Ponies were there. So they didn't disappear, but then they lost a source of nourishment. So they had to find another way of getting the love they got from the Crystal Heart, and became the Changeling.
Well, 1,000 years ago is used a lot. Like everything happened.
They actually
1,000
comment
years
in the
ago.
comic. Boy,
Yeah, the
that
comic
was
book
a busy
Spike goes
year.
like 1,000 years ago was a busy year. But no, to be honest, I like that one. One of the ones I always support is that I mean I get that one and I like it, and now that I've heard it, I want to use it. But the one I kind of like that's in a similar vein is that the whole Flutter Ponies thing that we've all been joking about is actually a thing, and that they were corrupted by Discord. Similar origin story, different impetus, I guess you could say.
But yeah,
Yes.
All right. Let's get the group coming in. Come on over.
all right.
First one, here we go. Oh.
All right. Hello. What is your name? And speak into the microphone, please.
I'm Gabby. I'm Sophia.
Hello, Gabby and Sophia. Let's hear this.
All right.
Brilliant.
What's the headcanon?
We're saying how Applejack's parents died.
Oh boy, we're
Ooh. Now, allow me to put a disclaimer here. It's the two foals that are bringing the dark question.
So,
All right.
Let's go.
So Applejack's parents were going to visit Brayburn's parents because they're related. And Granny Smith is babysitting Apple Bloom, Big Mac, and Applejack.
And the pony we all forgot. I mean,
background pony.
And when Applejack's parents are going back to Ponyville, they get in a really, really bad cart crash, and before any pony comes, it's too late.
Oh.
And the moral is drive safe, every pony.
Wear your seatbelts, kids.
wear your seatbelts. Now, the only show support for that really is the fact that Applejack's parents are not present, and that there's the entire
The
shooting
whole
star
shooting
scene,
star thing.
which is
Her parents are
supporting.
dead.
I mean, yes. So I think the show, at least in a mild sense, supports that Applejack's and Apple Bloom's and Big Mac's parents are dead. I'm not going to say that it's completely canon because,
But it's plausible.
It's very likely.
It's heavily implied, I think.
Yes.
As far as the fanon, I like it, but I don't know. I would like it. It seems right.
Well, thank you very
Considering
much.
we know how rickety the cart is.
Yeah.
Thanks, Big Mac. I like it.
Oh,
I like it.
look at the hat. I knew that.
Go ahead, get yourself. I think there's too much choice.
Okay.
Grab a pony.
Pick a pony. There you go.
Pony,
Yes,
pony,
honorary Apple family member.
All right, our next guest.
It's a Saturday.
Hello,
Hello. What's your name?
Sabrina.
Hi, Sabrina.
Okay,
Sabrina.
so my headcanon is, what happened to Sweetie Belle's and Rarity's parents?
They're in the show.
They're present.
No, from season 2, episode 5, Sisterhood Social.
Grammar is a thing.
Sweetie Belle has been living at Rarity's house, but the parents said that they were going to be on vacation for a week. And in season 4, episode 20, For Whom the Sweetie Belle Toils, Sweetie Belle seems to have her own room, but in Sisterhood Social, Rarity doesn't really like that Sweetie Belle's coming over to stay for a week. So did they get massively hurt? Did they die? What happened?
Oh, man.
Well, the kids are going really dark.
Hey,
I love it. I love it. And this is why I love doing this panel. First off,
it's like
is your
Disney.
headcanon relevant to this?
No, but it's show contradiction.
Oh.
Seen the father in the show.
How? Well, yes. She mentioned
No,
before.
No, I mean between those two
He was
episodes.
fishing.
In Rarity Takes Manhattan, he's in Manhattan. You can clearly see him.
Oh.
Alrighty. So this is a
Wow.
relevant point, which basically puts this to at least a low canon level. Theoretically, they could still be in vacation in Manhattan and haven't told Rarity and Sweetie Belle, and they're not coming back.
Well,
But
that's
you
just
know,
like
who knows?
another bonbon. But also, in the Bab Seed episode, their father is seen fishing down at the lake.
In the Babseed episode, yes, I do recall that. Yeah.
Oh.
So yes,
So
well,
maybe they
but
sent Sweetie Belle over to Rarity's house and never picked her up.
They
That-
could just
there we
be the
go.
worst parents
Yeah.
ever.
or alternatively, since Sisterhood Social, Sweetie Belle wants to spend more time with Rarity.
What if only the mother's dead?
This is
What
very
if the father
Disney-esque.
killed them?
This
No,
is
hold on,
pony.
that's too dark.
No.
Too dark.
Either way, I
Sweetie Belle is Simba. Is that what we're saying?
Darkest sketch.
either way, yes, I do like it. That they not that they've abandoned them, but like
You like that?
I like.
Wow, man.
I like
We're
the
learning a lot about
headcanon-
vigilance.
I like the canon that that Sweetie Belle and Rarity are spending more time together and that they're like living together.
That's cute.
I don't like the fact that Sweetie Belle's parents are dead because dang it, we don't need more main six parents dying.
I just think that they travel a lot. Like they just seem like the traveling types.
They seem like country bumpkins that are going to see the world. Thank you very much. Please. And now we adjust the microphone up.
We have a question in the back of the room.
Oh, yes.
So
88 passes can come to the front as well.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, we didn't clearly state that. And there's not line control here. We're not line control staff. I'm logistics. I move boxes. He's PR. He talks to people.
I'm just this guy.
I social the medias.
I ship ponies.
Okay. So you'd like to hear my headcanon, right?
Sure. We'd like to hear your name.
All right. Is this thing on?
Yes. Oh, yes.
I am the Doctor, and I have time traveled to bring this interesting headcanon to light.
Oh, man.
Oh!
Someone's on the lights.
It's regarding the origins of Photo Finish, a pony that has very little attention in the fanon community from what I've seen.
All right.
Because in green is in your color, we are introduced to Photo Finish as being a hyperactive photographer for fashion who seems to be blurred out everything except for her work, and immediately when she sees what Fluttershy does as a model, she can tell what qualities of her are the best and what does best in photography, because we see that Rarity tries to tell Photo Finish on the sidelines what to do, but Photo Finish says no, and Fluttershy just goes into her nature. Well, we also see later on in Rarity Takes Manhattan that she sits in close proximity to Hoity Toity and Sapphire Shores. Well, my headcanon is this regarding Photo Finish, and it also a help for her accent and why she refers to herself in a pseudo third-person perspective, like I Photo Finish, rather than my name is Photo Finish. Well, she was originally from a country I made up called Germany, which is basically their equivalent to Germany, and her grandfather participated in the last Great Pony War, which is relevant to WW2 in the pony timeline. His name was Video Feed. Video Feed lived in Germany, and rather than choosing to fall in line with the other evil ponies of Germany, he decided to go for the Prance Liberation Force, Prance being their equivalent to France, and he was left to raise his children after his wife, who was a nurse, died tragically, and his daughter that became the mother to Photo Finish was Photo Lenses, and she got married to a pony whose name was originally Mobius Strip, but he decided to legally change his last name to Mobius Lenses. Anyway, Photo Finish later on was brought over into Equestria via a boat into Manhattan, and as school, on her first day at school, she got bullied, but Sapphire Shores stood up for her, and as a filly, she met Hoity Toity and Sapphire Shores and became friends with them, but Hoity Toity was an exchange student from Canterlot, so eventually he had to leave. And later on, she decided to pursue her goal of becoming a photographer. She initially wanted to be a nature photographer like her mother was, but eventually, after going to a school fashion show to take pictures as a volunteer, she discovered that her talent was as a fashion photographer.
Okay.
And she tried very hard to get herself to becoming good, but she had to go through a lot of denial.
Okay.
But was
You've put a lot of thought into this. I'm impressed.
You
We've done
have
this a
a
while,
very
man.
detailed backstory.
Well, I actually posted the thing up on fanfiction.net and FIM Fiction.
Okay, what's the name of the story?
Photo finishes beginnings. If you want to read the entire story, go there. Focuses entirely on Photo Finish's origins
I love it.
and how she became friends with Sapphire Shores
Yeah,
and Hoity Toity.
We don't want to spoil your story too much, man.
All right.
But in all honesty, yes, Photo Finish's accent, I do agree with the headcanon that there are other nations in Equestria, like Germany
Oh,
and
I forgot
France.
one more thing. She gets the personality quirk of I'm Photo Finish from her father.
All right.
Okay.
Okay, I
Yeah,
can see that.
I mean, I agree with that headcanon a lot, just because that's, I mean, I think that there are other nations in Equestria other than the one led by Celestia, or at least other parts of Equestria that have different names and different mannerisms and such.
I mean, we do have the Crystal Empire. I mean,
We do have the Crystal Empire, and we also kind of get to see that a little bit with the Equals Village, in that there's like a different area that doesn't really know stuff. Like they're like, you know Princess Celestia, with this like person we've never heard of, almost.
Well, also the Griffin Stone.
Yeah, and also Griffinstone. So I support that headcanon for sure. As far as Photo Finish herself, again, yeah, she doesn't get much attention in the show. So anything is worthwhile at that point.
All right, cool.
Thank you very much.
If you actually build the scene where she turns around, you can actually see all the shooting ball. For a half second, it's small shooting ball.
That's true. I remember that.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's just reusing art assets.
Yeah, I know, but I thought it was funny just randomly. Oh, it's Twilight from the future.
Items that have value are all around.
No, I guess while he's looking for something, if we can get that mic far enough away,
Yep.
we can get some. Yeah, we
Let me
can,
just get that off of your. Oh,
Sorry.
sorry.
Let me just.
Sure. There you go.
Blind bags.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah. Up it goes.
Almost.
There we go.
But yeah, I mean,
All
like,
right. Can y'all hear me?
should we have like a
Yes.
time limit on headcanons, like no more than a minute?
Yeah. All right. I am Joshua, aka Showstopper. I actually have two headcanons to.
Let's
put
do one
here.
and then let other people.
All right.
And we can cycle through.
All right. In that case, I'll go with my major one. It's regarding the changelings,
Oh boy, here we
their
go.
culture and their society. Many people put the changelings as a total hive mind under Chrysalis. I think that they only have a minor hive mind. Like, they're all connected in the hive mind, but not controlled by it. I also don't think that Chrysalis was a very popular queen. Her invasion, I don't think, had a lot of support. If you look at the changelings, the fact that the main six could fight them off shows that they are not fighters. They are not trained fighters. I think that Chrysalis just gathered an army of whoever would go along with her insane invasion plan and went with it.
I was
And
like,
that
hey, y'all, watch
afterwards-
this.
And that afterwards, she was overthrown in a coup. The
So it's like
chain...
Oh, sorry, I thought you were done. Are you just
No.
a little more?
A bit more.
Okay.
Okay, go for it.
The changelings, with their method of feeding, it strikes me exactly what would make them a great nation. A nation of commerce, a nation of trade. Because they will naturally get love from others based on the products that they're selling. They're able to go into a nation and take on the form of the inhabitants, able to really see what is on the market all around the world, interact with them there. Any stigma they have against changelings, they won't know they're dealing with changelings, and so then they can then market that all over the world, or just in their nation have products from all over the world.
Adam Smith was actually a changeling when he wrote The Wealth of Nations. I can get behind that. But I think what you're touching on with the Fanon, I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt. Are you
No, he's that's it.
that definitely has Fanon support. I'm thinking of the Ask Flufflepuff Tumblr, which actually had a storyline to do with Chrysalis being very unpopular and ponies who had followed her not wanting to anymore because they just wanted to kind of live in peace. So yeah,
I definitely read tons.
I
of
can
fan
get behind
fiction.
that.
Yeah,
The idea of Chrysalis being an unpopular queen fits in with a lot of people, and I wouldn't be surprised. Raise your hand if you're in the line and you have this. That there are multiple changeling queens. Yep, I figured that. Good number of people raise their hands for the sake of the video. Because it's not entirely stated outright, and the show will never state it outright. But again, yeah, I think that she is a fanatical cult leader, to say, that type of term. And that there are other changeling hives, some that may be commerce-based. There are several fan fictions on the topic.
But yeah, actually, I think there's also some comic support for you're saying that they're not a pure hive mind. I mean, like the first 4 comics, you have some of the changelings actually talking with Chrysalis, like on a more like a one-on-one basis, and it's clear that they have their own minds,
their own intelligence. Definitely, yeah. The comic definitely supports the guided hive mind, I think would be the best way to put it, rather than the controlling hive mind.
They're not the Borg.
They're not the Borg.
All right, cool. Thanks,
Despite
man.
how cool.
Pick through. Just picking through the toys. What's your name, sir?
I'm Kai, or Gamma KM. That's my voice. And my headcanon is, when Discord was sealed like 1,000 years ago, he set up so like X amount of generations would pass, and then he would have avatars start to appear. And Pinkie Pie is one of the families that got chosen to be one of his avatars. For.
Are we talking Airbender avatar here, or?
No.
I think aspects of chaos.
Yeah. Yeah, and he has several more English. He has several others that do chaos in other parts of the world, Equestria, for him, and so he could be. So when he was like originally sealed, they could go and like create chaos for him in his name.
To be
and that's why we have like Pinky and like
Pinky,
Sandwich,
Screwball.
Yeah.
No,
How
big
about troubleshooters?
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay, I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. I like this in the canon because it's really supported. Because you have the plunder seeds, which he planted in the Everfree Forest.
Yeah.
We don't know what else he did. We don't know how widespread his control over Equestria was because it hasn't really been outright stated in canon, and we don't know technically how long he had control because every single time I look at fan information and try and get timelines, they're like before Discord happened, after Discord happened, and there's an indeterminate amount of time in between because obviously chaos, you can't tell. So I love this idea. I just love it because it sounds like something he would do. He'd be like, your family's going to be the chaos, and your family's going to be the chaos, and you're going to farm rocks because it's silly.
Yeah, and I like...
Also, it's like Pinky talks about her grandmother Pie, and if you look at both her parents, none of those look like they've been raised by anyone Pinky describes as Grandma Pie. So...
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Well, obviously
Discord
it's
is
Grandma Apple.
Pie.
Yeah, I love the idea of Troubleshoes being one of those. Like he just like accidentally creates chaos. That's amazing. That's brilliant.
Perfect.
Kudos to you,
All right.
man.
I love it. I love it.
This is a man I know. I expect great things.
Uh-oh.
Well, let's not go that far.
What's your name?
My name is Tyson. I'm otherwise known in Coco in like 2 circles. That doesn't really matter. I'm going to jump right down the fan and acceptance to about as far down as we can go because I think Equestria is probably a terrible place to live for anyone who isn't the main characters. So let's start with the basics. Let's say you're a perfectly normal, happy pony and you live in Manhattan. One day the sun doesn't come up. You have no idea what's going on or why, and you can't do anything about it. Oh, look! There's a goddamn giant goat sucking everyone's souls. You never find out why. Oh, man. But okay, fine. You know what? Maybe it's just average for ponies, even though everyone in Manhattan was a complete jerk, and ponies have proven to be repeatedly racist. God help you if you're not a pony in Equestria. We have cows. Cows are literally kept in a barn. They're treated as basically barely sentient animals that require a pony to corral them. But we know they're better than that because we've seen them walking around doing commerce. Let's say you're a donkey. Have we seen donkeys in any capacity do anything besides wander around and no one cares, or just show up for the jackass comment? How did that even start in Equestria exactly? How is that not racism to have? How did that term come about? But okay, let's say you're an on-pony and you want to get employed. Your employer has 2 choices. You, who have years of experience in this, in the pizzeria, we'll say, Or this guy who has a giant piece of pizza and a cutter slice on his flank. You lost the job, buddy. But you know what? Let's say you have a really niche cutie mark. You know, we'll go back to being a pony. You're part of the master race of ponies. You need a summer job. Your cutie mark is in something like bioengineering. You haven't gone to college yet. Where are you going to go? Like, you can't go down to, you go down to the mall because you want a fast food job. That guy with the hay burger on his flank just kicked you out. Then the milkshake guy. Then the hay burger and the milkshake guy. You have a bunch of people who have an established destiny that your entire financial livelihood depends on the fact you can happen to get a job in the one thing you're good at and want to do in your life. If you're not part of the main six, your life sucks in Equestrian.
I'm going to say this. You forgot one part of your headcanon, the mic drop.
I didn't want to do that.
Yeah, the engineers would hate you for that.
Yeah.
Okay, we may have some rebuttals in the crowd.
Okay, so it's mainly actually to the last one. Okay, sorry. There you go.
Come on.
It's actually to mainly the last point you had, the fact that you can only be good at one thing. Seeing as Fluttershy can do everything Rarity can, possibly better, pretty much proves against that. The comics gave her the ability to knit beyond anyone's comprehension. And she adores knitting. She could have easily gotten a job as that in 7 Animal Caretaker.
Oh, we got another? One more.
Bit of evidence to it being low fanon. Minuet, aka Colgate. Much of her special talent obviously is something to do with time, and yet most of the fandom puts her as a dentist.
Brush your teeth for 3 minutes a day.
Brushy.
Whatever.
It doesn't really matter what you're good at as much as what you're perceived to be good at, though. Having your cutie mark is life. Like I said earlier, you could have years of experience in a given job, but when it comes down to it, they're going to choose the person with the destiny when you're going to hire somebody.
It's true.
And
I certainly think it's going to be a low canon, but I certainly love how accurate it is.
Yeah.
I don't say I like it. I like how accurate it is.
I think we could all agree that Equestria is probably a really insane place to live.
Oh, look. The sky is chocolate milk. Great.
The roads turn to soap. Man, this keeps happening.
All the stuff that's happened in the season so far, apparently it's happened in like a year's time.
Everything.
Yeah,
That is a very busy year.
Well, it was a busy year 1,000 years ago, too.
That's
remember?
also true.
But no, the one that I like, there's an animation online. I think it's A Normal Day in Ponyville, and I forget who it stars. That is great, and it so fits into that. It's like, oh, look.
Everything's nuts. Come on over.
Come on over.
Hello, I'm Haley.
Hi, Haley.
Okay, I'm just warning you guys, I have a really big headcanon.
Okay.
My headcanon is how Equestria began.
Oh,
Okay.
and that's how Equestria was made, part 1. Let's go.
Okay, so my headcanon for how Equestria began is it was humanity. It was a regular day, but then boom, radiation bomb. And so everything, all people die. And so all modern things burn down because it's radiation.
Except
and so
refrigerators.
Yes. And stoves. And washing machines.
And arcade
so then basically I'm forgetting stuff. All the animals start to mix. Discord is a mix of multiple animals. A bunch of animals become Discord, and a bunch of animals start to mix, except for the ponies. They become superior. And remember the episode when Granny Smith was talking about when she first came to Ponyville? She said it herself, there was no Ponyville. So maybe there were leftover blueprints from past humane society, and so they followed those blueprints, and they were superior enough to build things, as you saw in that one episode in season 4, where Pinky was not planning Rainbow Dash's party, and it showed a scene where she was part of construction work. So they were superior enough to lift up large metal pillars and use cranes, and so the radiation is the cause of their beginning. And so then, in the song Anthropology, there are a few lyrics where they mention that humanity was a long time ago, and it makes you figure maybe the books, because they're all rewritten into their own pony language, maybe Starsworld went back in time and rewrote all the human books in a pony language.
Starsworld did everything.
He's prolific.
Yeah, it sounds
I've got to
like
rewrite all these books now.
Yes, I can't count on I can't count on all of my appendages how many times I've read the Human World Nuclear Fallout Ponies.
So it's basically
very
like
popular.
Adventure Time, but with ponies.
Yeah.
Yes.
The Great Mushroom War, kids.
And again, this is a full with a slightly dark headcanon. I love it.
With a super dark story. It's awesome.
I love it.
This is what you get when you read Fallout Equestria.
Oh, that's your problem right there. You read Fallout Equestria.
Yes,
All right.
because clearly the ponies were intelligent, but not intelligent enough to not do it again.
Perfect. Pick 3.
War never changes.
War never
Yeah, it
changes.
looks like we.
Also, full Fallout Equestria. There you go.
Oh wait, we have a rebuttal. Oh,
It was
Radiation.
inside us all along.
It's radiation.
Genetics.
Think Bioshock.
I get Adventure Time. There's like magic in there now.
Yeah, talking candy and donuts.
Your name?
Yeah.
I'm Bailey Wright, and I'm going to blow your minds.
Ooh,
I'm
okay.
going.
Challenge accepted?
I'm going to explain Pinkie Pie.
Uh-oh.
Impossible.
Okay, hold on. I need to get my crash helmet. Go ahead.
Okay, so, recently I had read a story talking about. No, I'm not going to talk about that.
Okay.
Previously, it was that Pinkie herself was a Draconequus. Over time, though, that has diminished too. She's related to a Draconequus, namely her grandmother.
Granny Pie.
Granny Pie is a
Granny
Draconequus.
Pie.
That is my headcanon. This is why we never see her, and this is why Pinkie's never scared nor angry that Discord shows up. It's like, it's cool, bro, it's cool. And it's also why she loved the chocolate milk. Her grandmother used to do that for her, and I just think it explains everything about Pinkie. And the chaos magic wouldn't appear in the parents because it can just go wherever it wants, and it didn't go to Maud or Pinkie's other two sisters because it just went straight to Pinkie. But not
Oh no,
all.
it went to Maud. Did you not watch that last episode? She totally shuts Discord down. I love it.
I think of jokes. Okay. Not all, like, it was, since she's only 1/4 Draconequus, the appearance nor all the magic went to her. And this is why she can't make anything appear out of thin air. Like, why she was angry with Discord for not adding it whipped cream, because she couldn't just make it herself. The things she can make out of thin air, though, are her party cannon and just everything else she brings with her that she uses on a daily basis. And there's also hiding things in her mane, and just everything that Pinkie does is because she's related to Granny Pie, who is a Draconequus.
Yeah, actually, I have
That's 2.
Yeah, I have an idea that actually, why is Pinkie's parents so serious? The Draconequus decided to hook up with the biggest straight man they could find. And because it's funny.
We have a rebuttal from the crowd.
Actually, no. It's just something to possibly help. After the first generation, where we would have had half-breed Draconequi and pony hybrids, that failed. Granny Pie got to see just how poorly that went for her children. So, after they had a foal who looked entirely like a pony, she decided to take that foal and give it a new home. A home with people who would not judge her because they live a simple life and understand that a life's a life and they shouldn't judge.
She's Superman.
Those two together have really.
Please,
take. Yes.
I have plenty.
Yeah, we have lots of stuff. I mean,
Let's keep going.
I
Yeah,
brought some stuff. I didn't even have to bring it.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
you can bring it over if you've got more stuff.
No, it's up in the room now. So.
Oh, well.
But
I
yes,
saw how much
please.
you have. I'm like, I don't think I need to bring it.
But yeah, let's keep if we can keep the let's
keep it
let's
brief.
click and explain like I'm 5, and then we'll do like a go
Yeah,
on
'cause we have, like,
because we
15
are
minutes.
running low on 15 minutes here.
Yes, we'll have to lightning round some of these. So,
All right. Hi, I'm Dr. Bucket. Official sounding title will make my theory sound a little bit more official. Scrapped it together in a very short time, so I make huge jumping conclusions, and I don't have a lot of evidence to prove it.
Yay.
But you don't have the evidence to prove not. So, but Star Swirl is actually Twilight Sparkle in the far future.
Go on.
All right. So, also, and Celestia knows it. So let's start off with. Yeah. All right. So, first, when Celestia took Twilight as her apprentice, obviously she saw in Twilight the potential that she is the final element required for the elements of harmony, magic. But she only saw an aptitude of magic, but not any aptitude in friendship. And so it seemed like a weird jump for her to just be like, that's the pupil that's going to get us there. Sorry, Sage, right?
The only thing I would add to that is that we do know that the spell that Twilight completed was that turned her into an alicorn was a spell that Star Swirl couldn't complete. So
well, that's actually where Celestia knows, is basically as Twilight developed her magic. Basically, as we've seen, like Celestia is obviously built differently from all the alicorns, and I think that kind of suggests that alicorns do age just at a very long range, and so that eventually Twilight ages to the point where she now looks like a shriveled old man.
She did that gender change spell, just never came off. What do we think?
Only because the comics seem to directly refute it. I don't love it. Like, I like the sound of it, but I can't endorse it because the comics are like, no.
And the crowd has some...
If Celestia knew that Twilight was the pupil, how did you screw up on Sunset Shimmer and possibly Starlight Glimmer?
Point. I like it.
What was that?
There's a YouTube video that says Twilight is Star Swirl the Bearded student. And not.
There was an analysis on whether Twilight was Clover the Clever when she used a time travel spell into the past to become Star Swirl's student.
Interesting. So Clover actually having a time travel into... Okay.
Wibbly wobbly, timey-wimey.
Yeah.
Yeah, the doctor is right there.
Yeah, it's possible. It's an interesting one.
It's an interesting one. I like it, but I think it's in the low fanon category.
Yeah, it'll just take a little.
I like
bit.
it. I like
They
it.
could just be two. They're two different powerful ponies, at least in my thought. But feel free.
A fun
Thanks,
one
man.
a fun one for me is that to build into that is that Star Swirl the Bearded is actually an alternate universe version of Twilight.
That could work. Just pops through.
Because he's known to travel through time. Why not dimensions?
And dimensions.
Why not dimensions?
Yeah, they do
Oh, yeah,
go through
and
all the
dimensions.
dimensions.
Sorry.
They have the
And
mirror.
dimensions. The mirror.
Now you've got. I like
So
your name
he's done
already
it.
as Jumbled Thoughts, so this one better be good.
Oh, jumbled thoughts. And the same shirt as last time.
First, I'll apologize to everyone who I've been rebutting against and such.
Oh no,
and
please,
taking
it makes it more fun.
man.
Makes it more fun.
So, the base is that Twilight was the real villain of Rainbow Rocks. That
Go
without
on.
Twilight, there was an astronomically low chance of any of the Sirens ever gaining equestrian magic. This is mainly based off of the fact that the Sirens don't do a lot of damage, and Twilight adds a lot of stress. The reasoning for the Sirens not doing a lot of damage is Trixie's band. That's the biggest point I have to make, though all the other bands make up the point as well. None of them are apart. There's Snips and Snails, Lyra Bonbon, Derpy and her band, and Trixie, such an oppressive force of will, has a band when they're all supposed to be wanting to rip each other's hair out and prove that they individually are the best. And yet all of these friendships stay together. So all the Sirens possibly do to them is set it back to the status quo of the first movie, where you're in your groups and you're locked into those groups forever. So not much damage, and once they're gone, they give about a week or two to cool down, and people can start talking again. But their true friends aren't tearing apart. As for Twilight, it turns from a competition they can lose, that if they'd gone disqualified in the second round, sure, Rainbow Dash would have been angry, but they would have been able to put on costumes because they wouldn't have had to waste time on a counter spell. They would have been able to be like, hey, we could have done better, but okay, we lost because they don't think that losing is going to cost them both the human world and the equestrian world. And they're not relying on Twilight. They can focus on themselves. They can talk like they learned to in the first movie, in fact, with the scene of, oh yeah, don't just hate without understanding, you know, the whole reunion scene from the first movie. But because Twilight shows up, they're focused on a counterspell. They constantly have to rehearse horrible song after horrible song, giving no time for Rarity to do her stuff, and adding stress on Applejack, who's so responsibly focused that if she didn't think she was about to cost her whole school their whole lives, she probably wouldn't have actually cared about this competition. Fluttershy could have just waited it out until she finally had the courage to say, Dash, I really, really believe in this song, let's do it. And Pinkie could have had her fun, because they all could have had fun.
Mm-hmm. Well, one, you have to fight the big baddie.
You have to. Otherwise, there would be no movie.
Friendship lasers. They spend a lot of money on that. They gotta use it.
We have
but of course, to build on that, yeah, the entire second movie wouldn't have happened if the first movie never happened, because there would have been, you know, there would have been no magic beam that the Dazzlings would have seen.
Quick crowd rebuttal.
I just want to say, if you guys watched Little Simshy's video about the equestrian Rainbow Rocks, he said, he said that all the events would have happened if Twilight wasn't there. Oh, because in essence, the movies, the show is trying, well, movies are trying to say that Sunset Shimmer is Twilight. That's what the movies are trying to say. So all the events would still happen.
So the events would have happened, it just would have been Starlight that did it. Rebuttal?
No, they would not have, because the biggest point that not even Sunset knew, their sirens, their powers. Okay. Sunset didn't know that. If they'd never gone into touch with Twilight, they would have thought, these are some weird girls, they got some weird stuff going about them. Yeah, we're teenage girls who have only done this once and have literally no loyalty to do this again. Let's just keep going with our band.
I like it.
All
Okay.
right.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. All right. And we were, I mean,
go through it. As I said, we'll need to make these next ones a little bit
We've got, like,
faster, so if
7
you
minutes,
can
so,
condense.
talk fast,
Let's
guys.
do 20 words or less, and if we really like it, we'll do the go on.
Yeah. So 20 words or less if we like you.
Okay. Hi, I'm Tyler,
Hi.
and I want to. Mine's more science-y. How ponies pick up things with their hooves.
Is this the, just so I can ask quickly, is it the one where they're similar to Gecko, or is it more like the similar to the powder pellet thing?
Magnets.
We all know it's magnets, but what's the one he's
Magnets
saying?
Okay. Now, Magic is.
Go on.
Okay, so it's not mine. I just read it online on this forum. In actual horses, they have like blood sacs on the inside of their hoof. When they stampede, it kind of acts as extra hearts to pump more blood, etc.
So in this one, they're magnetic and they're able to actually grip with those. So I mean, short and firm form of it.
No, I think what he's saying is that they can use that to kind of like grab around it like an airbag.
Yes, the principle is that along with their increased intelligence and cuteness, they also
they have this weird grotesque feature of
their feature is that they can contract and expand the blood sac at will, thus doing the beanbag arm grip thing you can see in robotics.
Yeah. I've seen several things like this online. I love it because it makes sense.
I just think of the Cyanide Happiness comic, or like, how do we pick things up? And it zooms in, and you have little like cilia on there.
I just love the weird idea of them just having hand blood sacs that they just that they glom onto.
I love it.
I love that.
Cool.
Another.
I can dig it.
And one more thing. If you're interested in it, you can also try it at home with just a balloon and a cup. You can just put it in there, span the balloon, it sticks on.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. Perfect. Thanks, man.
All right.
Through.
Well, let's keep going.
Let's roll through these. We got a sponsor here.
Okay, I'm Eric, also Gil. Before I do, I just want to point out the reason Bonbon's voice always changes is because she's a little hoarse. But my headcanon is the reason everything important happened 1,000 years ago is because originally they counted the way, if everyone's familiar with the story of Clever Hans, ones, tens, hundreds, and then you fall down. So 1,000 is simply more than they could count until the Saddle Arabians gave them Saddle Arabic numerals.
Interesting.
I like it.
I like that a lot.
I like it. That explains 1,000 years pretty concisely. It's just a long time ago, okay?
Or it's like it's 1,000 years ago. Really? Well, more like 964, but 1,000 sounds better.
Yes.
Yeah,
Round numbers.
Yeah. What would the? I'm trying to think because beyond that, did they ever give like a time frame for the like the three tribes thing?
The Hearthworm. They never do.
Never did.
They
Okay.
never do.
So that was 1,000 years
A
too.
long time ago.
That could work. That one I actually pretty like.
Thank you. Thank you. Go ahead. Say it out.
All right.
I was saying the three tribes thing was 1,001 years ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, exactly. Of course.
I'm Chris Pony. Got headcanon about identical twins have identical cutie marks.
Okay,
so
go on.
Forget about nature versus nurture. It's entirely nature. That's where you have your cutie mark predetermined. You may not know what it is, but it's going to happen. That's why these animation errors appear and you have identical ponies in the same shot.
So basically, that from birth, their cutie mark has been determined by genetics.
By fate. Yes, and destiny and fate and everything. They'll try dyeing their mane, going for expensive plastic surgery to get wings or horns added or removed.
Well,
and
I
this
mean-
is where you get these animation errors.
Like
trying
the
to
accidental-
change your voice, trying to stand out, trying to be different.
I
Now
just
the-
like the idea it's all changelings. It's changelings from top to bottom.
Now, the follow-up with this is it seems like the show is as it gets on, the animation budget gets better. We see less of these animation errors. I call this the Highlander principle. They've just found out that eliminating their identical twins makes them stronger.
There's an equestrian genocide.
I love it. I love it.
Highlander
it's
or
ridiculous.
the one, same guy.
It's ridiculous, but I love it.
I am the true cheerleader.
No, it's the true bonbon, obviously.
We have a rebuttal.
That's not the Highlander. That's the one with Jet Li.
The one with
Yes.
Jet Li. Yep.
Highlander sounds better.
All right, perfect. Pick
Next
through
in
the
line.
toys.
All right.
No, we don't.
Or tell you, move a little closer.
So, the Crystal Empire was originally the capital of Equestria.
I like it.
Could be. I think.
Think about this. It is called the Crystal Empire when it's a single city, while Equestria is an empire. It stretches all across the country.
My theory on that is that the Crystal Empire was originally the central point of the pony world, but when the entire Frozen North thing happened and the Wendigos drove them south, that's when they founded Equestria, and Crystal Empire is like the last vestige of the old world.
Maybe.
I like it.
You know, that could even be Princess Platinum's. You could go with that idea that it is actually Princess Platinum's castle.
Very
of some
good.
sort. Yeah. And you have, but the one thing I have to say against that is that you do still have the castle of the two sisters out in Everfree.
Right.
Right, but that's after they got kicked out of the North with the
Right,
Wendigos.
right. So there's like castles everywhere.
Yep,
Yes.
lots of
All the
ruins.
castles.
All right, thanks, man.
I get a castle.
Twilight gets a castle. It's just...
Thanks, M.A. Larson.
All right, what's your name, sir?
I'm Lapis Lazuli. I rate horse words, and
Those
I
are flyers, those
have
are
an
free, those aren't
explanation
prizes.
for rock farming.
Go on.
I mean, we do quarries now as is, so.
Yes, but this is a little bit different because everybody's always tried to figure out how can you make money off of this, and you think about it in it was context of Cutie Mark Chronicles, where Rarity found all of these gems inside of rocks. Well, the idea of rock farming is instead of trying to crack them open and just getting random shards, you roll them carefully to erode them to get the best and highest quality formed gems. Hence where fire rubies come from.
I love it.
That is very
I
clever.
love
I
it.
like that.
Also
I can
pet
dig
rocks.
See, I like
we
the
had a rebuttal
idea
from the
that,
crowd?
I have something.
Gyms at Equestria are crystallized magic.
I agree on that, but I think it would make more sense that instead of selling the crystals, they made it into like rock candy or something.
This is true. They do make rock candy.
Would make sense.
Probably part of it.
Delicious rock
It's like,
candy.
this gym isn't good enough to make an enjoy, but we can eat it.
All right, perfect. Pick 3, sir.
Yes. Now we are actually out of time, so we do need to make our picks.
Okay, so anybody else want to scream what theirs is real fast? Is it really good? Scream it.
All at once.
Cutie marks are influenced by ponies, hence the reason you don't get cutie marks from the far past or the far future, and why they tend to match the names. It's kind of influenced by them subconsciously.
Okay. I like it.
Spike is the son of Stephen Magnet, the fabulous dragon from episode 2.
I love it.
They broke purple.
Twilight's magic is Star Swirl's magic.
Agreed.
Pinkie Pie caused the changeling invasion of Canterlot.
Yes.
The world has to be
love
flat,
it.
otherwise Celestia can never rest.
But I got it.
Oh, the sun wants to be on the other side of the earth.
Okay.
Discord has been secretly living with Fluttershy since his initial reformation.
That'd be fun.
It's almost canon. Confirmed. Rainbow Dash has absurdly rich parents who have no time for her, which is why she has no social skills and a really swag house.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it.
Hang around.
All right, so you know how when ducks look at their mothers for the first time, it's instinct. They know it's their mother's, and they like make a connection to them. Ponies don't choose their kid's name. When the mother looks at the pony for the first time, instinct, magic, they name them, and that's their name, and that's how they get. That's why it makes sense.
No, Celestia picks it. Duh. Anyways.
I have my own
By what ponies consider to be pretty, Rarity is not.
Ooh.
There's a lot of evidence.
Ooh.
There is.
Oh, wow.
Spike's the only one who ever says that Rarity is pretty, and he's a dragon, and people comment on Fluttershy, and people comment on Rarity's clothing, but nobody ever says Rarity is pretty. She is by human standards, though.
If you meet Tabitha, you have to tell her that. I want to know
That
how
is
she reacts.
beautiful. I love that.
It's fabulous.
Okay, I'm sorry, but I love that.
In,
I like
the,
that.
in the future,
Oh,
Hasbro and Lego merge, and Princess Unikitty and Big Mac have a daughter, but she's not canon, so they have to send her into the past, and she is Scootaloo, and that is why Scootaloo has no parents.
I love this cap off.
It's so silly. I love it.
It's so cute. I love it.
All right, last one.
I told you this one last night, but I thought I'd share it with you guys. Twilight's been dead since the end of season 3, right?
Thanks, M.A. Larson.
She's a changeling.
The new one.
Thanks, M.A. Larson.
Yeah.
Darling M.A. Larson.
Okay.
It explains why it takes her a little while, but not too long, to adapt to the Equestria Girls universe.
All right, so now we got to make our picks for that hot $20. So was there a best or a worst?
Gosh darn that Rarity one, though.
The Rarity one. We want to know a little bit more about the Rarity one.
I love that one.
Come back over here. I want to hear this.
Yes, I want to hear the evidence, but I love this. I think this should win the best.
Well, you often hear people comment on Rarity's outfits. Because Rarity's outfits are obviously beautiful, but nobody ever comments that Rarity herself is attractive, except for Spike, who's a dragon. People comment on Fluttershy. Photo Finish immediately sees Fluttershy and goes, wow, she's gorgeous. But nobody ever, as far as I can think, has that reaction to Rarity herself. And it would also make sense that her interest in fashion and beauty is partly there to help with that. I mean, because she does a lot to work with what she has. She styles her hair in a beautiful manner. She works on her coat, but she doesn't have a whole lot naturally going into it.
A supporting. Oh, sorry.
So it's like a lot of makeup.
A supporting fact
Yeah,
to that
she does
is.
wear makeup.
A supporting fact to that is the fact that her family is country bumpkin.
Yeah. And we've got
She
hands
has no
all
highlight.
over the crowd on this one.
I think that the hands all up. I mean, I'm sure you all have wonderful ideas and conversations, but we are out of time, sadly.
Yeah, really
but the
out of
fact that everyone wants to talk about this one means that I think it does
I
win one of our
think
best
yeah,
head candies
I
of the night.
think
Does
it
everyone
was
agree?
$20.
Spot prize.
Is it terrible that our number one choice for best headcanon is Rarity is ugly?
No, it's not.
She's
It's great. It's
she's
perfect.
Not ugly. She's just not attractive.
She's not 100% gorgeous.
No.
Yeah.
She's not Celestia.
Fleur de Lis is.
I still like her. She's still my waifu.
Yeah. She's one of the best.
No,
of.
no, Rarity is fantastic.
Talent is finding gems.
All right.
Oh my God, that's like
Anyway, before fights break out,
born to be a dragonlight.
before
Like
fights
Rarity X
break out
Spike
inside of here.
confirmed.
So we have that Carney, the Spike and her and that kid, yeah.
Yeah. All right,
It's on
everyone.
Tumblr.
Thank you all very, very much.
You've been a wonderful audience.
Yes, make sure you come back over here. We'll give you your prize and everything.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
He will give the prize.
the prize.
$20. Give you $20.
Congrats.
Thank you.
That'll get you 20 bottles of water at BronyCon.
But yes, so thank you all for attending. By the way, if you are a kid and you're still here and you want toys, come on over. Come pick some up.
Come get toys.
If you're a kid or kid at heart,
as a
maybe.
kid, please. The rest of these are going to go to kids for the rest of the day. You have a headcanon?
Discord equals Starswell to Bearded.
That's
That
a
is
popular
the
one.
most popular pre-comic headcanon. I love it. It has been disproved in comics, but it is a headcanon that I hear a
Well,
lot.
we're trying to just keep it for kids right now. Yeah. Thank you.
What was your other one? I remember you mentioned.
I had two of them. The first one was obviously Peaking My Constitution Invasion, and I got 10 minutes for that one.
Alright.
And the other one was actually I cracked Everyone's always said that ponies only have 2 pronouns that give away their features. They actually have 4.
If you could just take one, that'd be.
One male,